In this video, I'm going to show you how to tell ElectroServer to return a custom policy file. But before I do that, let me refresh you on what policy files are. For web-based technologies such as Flash, the Flash Player, Unity Player, and Silverlight, each of them has a security model built in that requires the client to request permission from any server it's going to connect to before it establishes a connection. And it does that by requesting a policy file from that server. The server will respond with a policy file, which is an XML formatted file, and in there, in that file, it gives it lists permission for which IPs are allowed for a client to be requesting from, and which port or ports are allowed. So let me show you which one ElectroServer serves up by default. And let me, I'm just going to open up my console window here. Alright, so I have ElectroServer running locally on 127.0.0.1 port 9899. So in a console window, I'm just going to telnet to ElectroServer and hit enter, and you can see what it responded with. It responded with an XML file and a little bit of binary stuff here on the end. But in this XML file, this is a policy file, and it gives access to domain wildcard, so any domain in a specific port 9899. By default, ElectroServer responds giving you permission to whichever port you requested on. That's how that works, and I'm going to show you how to replace what ElectroServer serves up here to something that's going to be served up every time. We'll just specify a similar policy file to this, but we'll give it a wildcard over on the port side too, so that it'll accept any port. Alright, so I need to open up the ElectroServer 5 admin, because that's where we specify this. Okay, so the ElectroServer 5 admin is open. I'm going to log in on localhost here. And I go to the server management section, and then under general settings, if I scroll to the bottom, there's an enable custom policy file checkbox. I'll select that, and a text field appears here, and that's where we paste the contents of whatever file we want to, whatever policy file we want to serve up. So I have one on my desktop in Notepad. So I just open that. I'm going to copy the contents out of this. So I'm selecting copy, and just to show you really quickly here, it's a simple file, and it gives you access, or it gives access to clients from any domain. That's what this wildcard is, and from any port range. That's what this wildcard is here. So let's paste that into the text field. Just pasted it, and I click update. And that's it. Now we just have to restart ElectroServer. So I'm going to close ElectroServer and restart it. Alright, ElectroServer is starting up, and I'm going to connect to it via telnet again just to see what it's responding with. So see telnet 127.0.0.1 9899. And you can see now that it responded with the custom policy file that we just specified. It gives a wildcard for the domain and a wildcard for the ports. 2 ports, wildcard. So that's how you specify a custom policy file in ElectroServer 5.